We are the Keyboard Samurai, a podcast focused on sharing insights to help those working in cybersecurity companies, be them technology or services. Each session, your host, Will Klusovsky, aka Will Clue, sits down with professionals in our industry to illuminate topics that will help your security biz, team, or self be better. Let's hack into it now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Will Klusovsky, Will Clue. And today we have Mariana Padilla from Hackerverse, CEO and founder. So Mariana, sorry. How about you give us the 30-second spiel about who you are and why we care?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, first of all, thanks so much for having me. I'm super glad you're in my universe. We connected a while ago. I'm just thrilled to see the kind of connection we've been able to leverage here. So Mariana Padilla again of Hackerverse. So we're really trying to solve the cybersecurity sales problem. So if you've ever purchased or sold enterprise cybersecurity software, you know that's a huge PITA. I don't know if we're centering this podcast. So we'll make it appropriate. Okay.
We're real here.
It's a pain in the ass. And so our approach to that is using AI to build proof of concepts for cybersecurity vendors, really speed up that process for them so that their sales engineers can focus on other critical tasks. And then hosting those proof of concepts on our platform so that CISOs, MSSPs, anyone else can kind of come in and do self-service technical product evaluation. So this whole thing started because my co-founder, Craig, who is a sales engineer by trade, was putting together these demo environments for a large MSSP, discovered that some of the products they were selling didn't actually work. They were totally missing vulnerabilities and was like, holy shit, there's got to be a better way to evaluate these products. And there hasn't been until now. So here we are. There's the story.
That's outstanding. And I can attest to it. It's great to have a this kind of relationship, and it's definitely proof to everybody out there that virtual coffees do not have to be a salesperson trying to bait and switch you into pitching. I've done lots of these, and so to see you, I know you post about them all the time, so it's great to see it worked out. So today we're talking about community-led growth in cybersecurity. So, I mean, first off, when we think about that, I mean, that means a lot of things to me, or can mean a lot of things to me. But what does it mean to you? What exactly, I know it's something you're passionate about. What does it mean to you when you hear that?
Yeah, so let's just kind of start with how cybersecurity has been marketed and sold, a very traditional B2B approach. I actually hate the term B2B because at the end of the day, you're still selling to a person within that organization, right? And so for me, community-led growth is really all about forming those human connections, forming, just relationships with people and using that as the basis for building your company. I think that's particularly important in cybersecurity. And I've worked in a lot of different industries, unlike any other space that I have worked in, that human relationship and that human connection and that trust matters so much, right? Whether you're applying for a job, trying to get into an organization, buying a product, looking for a promotion, whatever it may be, that human connection and trust matters, right? And so we're also paranoid as an industry, right? Justifiably so. That I think the companies that can lean into building those connections are going to be the ones that succeed for the long term. And so, really passionate about that, and has been the basis for everything we're doing at Hackerverse.
As somebody who's done a whole lot of sales enablement in my lifetime, I'm always the person who, I can go talk to the doers, the technical people who speak the ones and zeros, and then I can go talk to the marketing people and understand their world, and then taking that to the salesperson and saying, look, at the end of the day, they're buying from you, right? It's our company. They're going to evaluate our services, product, whatever it is, but they're buying from you or me when I get in the room, or whoever else we put in the room. It's because of a relationship.
Right.
You're selling to a person. I make it a point in any content I do, when I do go to market strategies, to dive into that too. It's like, the content needs to be about the person you're selling to, right? You need to understand that CISO, that CEO, that whoever that's buying from you, what do they care about? Not your bells and whistles. Those are fine. The technical people are going to be interested in it. But at the end of the day, it's, what are you doing for me, really? It's about people. So that's refreshing to hear you kind of say that.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And if you think about it, I mean, just from like a a human perspective. You're considering two products, right? You know the owner and company of one, and you have
Mhm.
a strong relationship with them. Which one are you going to buy? Like, I mean, like just breaking it down into simple terms. And if you have these strong relationships across the industry with people, and you're able to form that and build that trust, I think it just matters so much. And I just get tired of the same, like, what is your ICP? It's CISOs. Okay, well,
That's
what does that tell us? That tells us absolutely nothing other than they make a certain set of decisions, but it's going to be different depending on industry. It's going to be different depending on company size. It's going to be different depending on like what, their focus is. Are they a business, CISO, or are they, a CISO who has come up through the ranks as a practitioner, right? Which, I mean, they've been in the frickin' trenches, right? So their perspective on things is going to be totally different. So I think it's just an outmoded way of thinking about things, and really it should just be how can I build these pieces of or connections and build trust with these people. That's it.
I love that. I educate, preach about the CISO archetypes all the time. Some people are lucky to be, enlightened, as I would call it, the enlightened CISO who understands the control, the compliance, the business, and the technology. Others know that they have gaps, but that definitely influences. You say ICP, but there's a client journey, right? That we all talk
Right.
about from a marketing GTM perspective, and that should look different for who you're targeting as a person,
Right.
right? Do you have, when you're talking to that technical CISO, you're going to have a different conversation than the one who's a business minded CISO,
Yeah.
right? Or
Yeah.
director, VP,
Absolutely.
whoever your kind of contact is. So that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
So from talking about that community led growth, where have you seen success, or what types of things do you find work really well? I guess, right? Let's help out the people listening.
Yeah, so we started a Discord community, and it actually existed before the company did. So my co-founder Craig's been very plugged into the ethical hacker community for a really long time, and going to DEF CON for a very,
Mhm.
very long time. And so he's very passionate about, forming community in that space. I think events that specific things that work really well for us. And I actually just posted about this the other day on LinkedIn, I guess yesterday on LinkedIn, which is like making those aha moments, just helping people have those light bulb moments in the purchasing process, and how that's much more valuable than thinking about things in the traditional sales funnel approach. And so our way of creating those aha moments, we really, I call it the melding of education and entertainment. I mean, that's just a very technical way of saying, let's just make it fun as shit. Like,
Mhm.
how can we make this fun? Why does everything in the B2B space have to be so damn boring, right? I challenge that. I really challenge that. So we do our World Hacker Games events where we build CTF arenas. We put products in there and we spotlight how they perform in real time. So our last ones that get Log. We have some other ones coming up towards the end of the year. One will be with Testamont, which I'm really excited about, which will be a unique one because they're guardrails on your data for AI. And so it'll be focused on like prompt injection, but essentially it's just showing how these products work, right? And there really hasn't been a way to do that without like clicking on the dreaded talk to sales button and going through 8 million calls. And then, there's a demo, but which doesn't necessarily show you everything. And then you have to do the POC, which there's like 8 million steps involved in that, and the getting that executed. So really, it's just showing people in real time how these products works in a really fun way. We have some malware developers who, develop things that haven't been seen before that we throw at them, and so it's really a very disruptive way of marketing and selling cybersecurity products. But I think at the end of the day, the key for us for everything is really transparency. Is baked into everything we do, and I think that really builds trust.
Right. Yeah, I like that because, I'm a big fan of demand generation, not lead generation. I mean, we all want leads, but like creating demand is to me
Right.
is almost more important because the leads will come, right?
Right.
Understanding, hey, look, we're a business that is worth your time. We have
Mhm.
smart people. We do good things. When you have a need, you'll give us a call, right?
Right.
The leads will come in. So sounds like with those events, and that you're kind of getting that sort of that demand generated through that kind of content.
Right.
And
Right.
being transparent about it,
Right.
look, this is, we're a company who helps other companies sell stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we've got this event, and absolutely we would love to do business with you. You don't have to, but you know why we're doing it. It's
Right.
definitely a lot more useful than scanning badges.
Oh my gosh, the badge scan. I just remember like coming up to a vendor, and it was someone I have known. Like, no shade on this individual, like super lovely person, but they were like, "Oh yeah, we got like 500 badge scans today," and I was like, "Cool, I guess." How many of those are actually going to turn into like qualified leads? One,
Right.
maybe.
Maybe one. Maybe they're going to go
Other,
to.
I mean, people are really interested in your socks. That's it, bro. Like,
That's the socks are a smart thing though. It's funny. No, they will, because they'll go like I'll get into my personal email box, or even my
yeah,
the ones I love are, and I've worked in consulting and services most of my
yeah,
life, so I go to events. I'm usually doing education, or doing the meet and greets and stuff, but I go and get my swag, and then half of my vendors are now sending me lead gen emails, and I'm like,
right,
did you even look
right,
at the email address and
right.
check maybe that's a partner of yours and you're wasting your time?
No, no, they're not. I mean, and the thing I always say is, and I have a marketing background. I mean, it's a waste of money, because once you start adding on hundreds of people into your CRM, that cost grows
Mhm.
exponentially. So just something to consider if you think the badge scans are,
Right.
I don't know, a valid solution. I'm going to
Yeah,
tell
and
you
you're
that they're
not doing
not.
your SDRs any favors, because they're all going to get a bunch of email. Like, they don't know, most of them aren't doing research yet, right? They're relying on people
Yeah,
like you and I to tell them, hey, here's what to say, and here's the path to take them through, right? So
right, right.
what about I guess, so you have a unique perspective on the security landscape. I think, what kind of I don't know, underserved areas, or maybe emerging thing, like, I don't know, give me your tea leaves, read into the what's that thing? The magic 8 ball, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, so I think, an area where there's a huge amount of opportunity and has massively been underserved, and where I think if you're considering some, a new cybersecurity software solution is going to be focused on small and medium-sized enterprises. The way that cybersecurity companies are funded. VCs want to see the biggest amount of revenue in the fastest amount of time possible, and so that means focusing on these large enterprise accounts. But there's only so many of those large enterprise accounts, and everyone's going after these same large enterprise accounts, which is why the CISOs of these same large enterprise accounts get 8,000 messages in their inbox every month, or all of this crazy outreach, and why they're just like totally overwhelmed and exhausted. If there are some investors out there who are willing to kind of take a different approach to that, I think there's a huge amount of opportunity out there for products, specifically ones coming to mind like Judy Security, which is like AI focused security for small businesses, which is like $14 a month. Right, it's a completely different business model than focusing on these big contracts that are going to be $1 million plus or whatever they are. It's a different business model. It requires more work. You need more customers, but there's a lot more small businesses out there than there are these enterprise, buyers. So I would say that's a huge area of opportunity. And obviously, I think AI is a big part of that. Any sort of AI that can, automate some of these processes and make it easier for small business owners, because they don't know anything about cybersecurity. And I think that's part of the challenge is, they're totally intimidated by it. And I
Mhm.
know this because I work with small business owners, and they're like, I don't know, I'm too small. No one's going to target me. And
Just go away,
someone,
please.
yeah, someone made a really valid point, which is just like your business, they don't even know the name of your business. It's just an IP address on a list that they've bought and they're targeting, right? So they don't know, and nor do these threat actors give a shit. So they will go after anyone and everyone, right? So I think there's a huge area of opportunity there. Obviously, maybe the solution is, some of these smaller firms focused on managed, services. But that to me is where I'm like, it does this pursuing the same model doesn't make sense
Hmm.
anymore, right? And there's just going to be diminishing returns for new companies coming into the space to chase that same model. In fact, my friend Ross Aleliu, who wrote Cyber for
Yeah.
Builders, he talks about like how the sell to CISOs model is dead. done, buried, right? So that's not how any cybersecurity company coming to market should be trying to sell their product. So anyone listening, don't do it. Go get that book because it's really good, and he's a lovely human and individual. But B, if that's the extent of your go-to-market strategy, you're going to fail.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Ross is great. I should have him on here. I'm waiting to schedule him.
Yeah.
Spend some time with him. And it's interesting too, because you're absolutely right. I've in a lot of my advisory work, I get a lot of startups that come to me and, hey, want me to poke holes in their stuff. And I have to say a good 50 to 75% of it is all targeting that SMB mid-market space, trying to find hey, it's a $5 a month per person solution, whatever it is. It's one click, you got it all packaged together, and they're taking things, they're taking the products that are out there and they're putting it together, or they're doing things differently, right? I've seen a lot of stuff where they're looking at the kernel now instead of focusing at the user level. Like, again, just trying to get it out of the way, and that's the perfect thing for that small business.
Right.
And while this isn't, this is not a pitch show, but when I talk to all of those companies, when I talk to anybody who's targeting the SMB space, I'm like, what's your channel plan? Like, you need if you're selling to that small market, that mid market, you need a channel program. You cannot hire enough salespeople to sell your product and get to that what the VC PE firm wants. You're not going to hit EBITDA and be successful without having a platform like what you guys potentially solve for them. So that's that's a fortunate circle we've come around to.
Yeah. I mean, what is it? 90% of cybersecurity solutions are sold through the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, even I won't name names, but knowing like some of the largest in the who even have their own services organizations are now going all channel. I know a lot of managed services. There are some good managed services firms are doing all channel. It's interesting because you have to train the channel differently too. Talk about GTM. That client journey looks different.
Way different.
Different. me, if I'm the SE and I've got my tool and I know how it works inside and out, like my story is going to be very different than the channel person who's selling 700 other things and is just trying to, conveyor belt that stuff off.
Yeah, I mean, but it is different, but at the same time, I think a lot of the challenges are the same too. So we're actually making some traction with some of these large channel partners who are like, we cannot test and evaluate all of the tools and products and companies that are coming with us to work with us. Like, please help us. So I think there's a need at all sizes of company and also channel partners, VARs for something that makes it easier to really test the efficacy of these cybersecurity products.
Awesome. Well, that's out. So, Mariana, where can everybody find you in the cyberspace in internet tubes world?
In the internet tube world, I love that. So hackerverse.ai is our website. Also, I claimed this LinkedIn handle, which I am very proud of. LinkedIn.com/here to shake shit up is very
love it.
Yeah, so easy to find on LinkedIn. That's where I'm most active, constantly posting. So you can find me there. We also have a YouTube channel, hackerverse.tv, where we do all sorts of interviews. So, Will, honestly, we're going to have you. We're going to do a swap. We're going to have you on.
Anybody on my show, I've definitely been on theirs if they have one. That's the
So yeah, absolutely. So please come say hello.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mariana. It's been great chatting with you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Absolutely.
Thanks for enjoying Keyboard Samurai Podcast. If you'd like to engage, find Will on LinkedIn at /WillClue or visit at willclue.me. That's WILKLU.me for more info. Disconnecting now. Synac you later.